The Newsline.
In a previous video commentary, we discussed the Israeli Defense Forces' preparations for a decisive military campaign in the Gaza Strip. IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir visited Gaza on August 17, 2025, to oversee final preparations for a large-scale ground offensive targeting Gaza City. This operation, part of Operation Gideon's Chariots, aims to reshape the security reality by focusing on Gaza City. Concurrently, Qatar and Egypt are facilitating symbolic negotiations for the release of hostages. Hamas has accepted a 60-day ceasefire proposal backed by these mediators, which includes the release of 10 living hostages and the remains of 18 others in exchange for 200 Palestinian prisoners. The plan also proposes partial Israeli withdrawal from Gaza and increased humanitarian aid access. Resembling the previous agreement with Witkoff, although it sounds like a cruel joke that repeats itself, even Hamas is aware that the Israeli Defense Forces are preparing for a final blow aimed at ending Hamas once and for all. Israel has made it clear that all hostages must be released at once for any ceasefire to be accepted. Egypt and Qatar, together with Hamas, are attempting to revive the same old ceasefire despite this demand. Israel should not settle for a partial hostage exchange. Predictably, a 60-day ceasefire would allow Hamas to use the hostages they still hold as bargaining chips, leaving the fate of those hostages uncertain and unfair. The risks involved make partial agreements unacceptable from both a moral and strategic standpoint. Although the State of Israel has not issued an official statement, Bezalel Smotrich, Israel's minister in the Ministry of Defense, publicly emphasized that Israel will not accept a ceasefire that releases only some of the hostages. Meanwhile, Taher el-Nunu, a senior Hamas official, speaking to Al Arabiya, revealed that the planned ceasefire talks revolve around three familiar demands: the release of terrorists held by Israel, withdrawal of Israeli troops from the Gaza Strip, and the provision of humanitarian aid. Other sources reporting on Nunu's interview have noted that Hamas expects Israel to become involved in another conflict with Iran, which would give Hamas time to reorganize and plan for the future. Iran anticipated a similar outcome from terrorist organizations during its 12-day standoff with Israel. However, those organizations were themselves weakened and unable to assist Iran. Now, they hope for the same from Iran, even though Iran is itself struggling. Citing this situation, certain Arab sources have highlighted that, despite the civilian population in Gaza eagerly awaiting a ceasefire, Hamas still fails to recognize this ground reality. Israel has made it clear that once Hamas is defeated, the West Bank will not govern the Gaza Strip. Instead, an international board of observers, working alongside Israel, will oversee the territory liberated from Hamas. Egypt opposes this plan, insisting the Strip should remain under the Palestinian Authority, a stance quietly supported by Qatar. Both countries' backing of Hamas only worsens the situation, creating challenges for Israel and further endangering Palestinian civilians. Qatar and Egypt bankroll Hamas while its leaders live in luxury abroad. If the Arab nations truly united, Gaza could be a paradise. Instead, they keep fueling terror, openly or from the shadows. The so-called open prison is not Israel's doing, but the result of Arab nations propping up Hamas while Palestinians continue to suffer. The push against an international committee in Gaza is not just Egypt and Qatar's demand, it's Hamas's demand. They want time to regroup and reorganize as their future hangs in the balance. At one point, Hamas even said it would lay down its weapons if its fighters were absorbed into the Palestinian Authority. That is why Hamas and the Palestinian Authority cannot be treated as two separate entities, they are one and the same. Both the Gaza Strip and the West Bank are controlled by Palestinians who see Israel as their common enemy. Their single ambition is the eradication of Israel and the genocide of the Jewish people. The Palestinian Authority serves merely as the international face of Hamas, which openly seeks the destruction of the Jewish state. For this reason, it is doubtful that Israel will ever reconsider allowing the Palestinian Authority to govern the Gaza Strip. European politicians continue to push for a two-state solution while ignoring the deeper realities of the conflict. Their ambition is not to bring about a lasting resolution between Israel and Hamas but to secure the votes of Muslim minorities in their own countries. Thankfully, Israel has the right to defend itself and will not compromise its national security merely to satisfy politicians in Europe who are more concerned with votes than peace. If this report helped you see the situation on the ground clearly, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to People's TV, where truth has no agenda, and facts speak louder than spin.
Subscribe us for more details.